Hello guys, my name's Ashley Rowe. You probably don't know who I am, but if you do, welcome, and you probably know that I've been a very busy person for the past couple of months. With that in mind, I'm doing a video today about me and how I got my head to where I'm going and what I did to kind of get my head in the zone, if you like. So if we backtrack, so if we go back to when I was at uni, I kind of wasn't the best student in the world, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a good 3D artist. I am now, because I've done something that benefited me massively in the long run, which we are going to go through in a little bit. But first and foremost, why did I go wrong? I didn't pay attention. And I didn't focus on the task at hand, and I didn't realise how vast and how much dedication you have to put into 3D in order to get good at it, because that's the main thing, is you do it every day. You organise time and then go away and do it. But there's also the factuality that you can't just learn some things. You need to actually learn. You actually need to go and watch videos, and you need to go and look at the documentation out there, because certain techniques you don't just bump into. Certain techniques such as environment modelling and the way you strip polys down really fast, you wouldn't just learn. You kind of need to go away and actually look at how other people have done stuff, such as chamfer zone stuff. So essentially, the problem in the beginning was I was not really looking at the ways you'd approach things. So essentially for me, it was watching things like chamfer zone and RMS 3D, which really taught me that 3D modelling is a quick process if you've got your head screwed on, and if you know how to use shortcuts. If you can, because one thing that my really good friend Muzzy taught me, which was cheat. If you could cheat half the fucking process, go away and do it, because essentially you can go and strip things out. You could spend half a day UV mapping, and you could spend half a year stripping down a turbo smooth mesh. But essentially, my process, and one thing that I got taught through chamfer zone, was if you use your boxed model, so essentially you block out your thing, you add your smoothing groups, you then you make a copy of the model. So essentially you've got a low poly, you've got your low poly done. Okay, so you start low, then go and make your high poly. You then make an exact copy of that mesh you've turbo smoothed, smoothing grouped, and basically add the quad chamfer modifier, which you do have to purchase it, but unfortunately yes, but it is one of the best plugins I've ever used for doing that. And then you add your turbo smooth on top, and then you got your high poly, and then you can go and do your UV mapping, and then whack it into Substance and do it. You know, end of the day, for me personally, it's about getting the process done as fast as possible. It's about finding a really quick method to getting things out there, and showing your work. You know, end of the day, if I can showcase my work to either a Facebook group dedicated to 3D modelling, like 3 to 10,000 hours, or going on Polycount and making a thread, those people are going to give me feedback that I require. And that's one thing I'd also say is feedback. Always have that feedback on hand, because essentially you can only go so far, and because you're working at it so many hours of the day, and you're always, you try and critique your own work, but essentially you look back and you go, hang on a minute, no, I can't honestly say if it's good or not. So it's about going into the world and talking with professionals who have done this for 10 years, who've worked in industry, who basically go, yeah, no, that just doesn't work. That poly count, I'm not too sure. I don't know why you're using Engons, I don't know. You know, it's all about that feedback. It's about that little feedback which basically says, hang on a minute, I'm able to quickly get things done. So for me, it was figuring my process out, looking at the world and looking at how materials and things are made, finding my process is probably one of my biggest things I'd probably say to people, which would be find your method, because there's 1,000 ways to do something. And the thing is, you can ask the community in 10,000 hours, but I think, you know, there is all the resources out there. It's just basically trying to go through it all and just basically saying, right, okay, this, go through but my best piece of advice to anyone who wants to get good at 3D is look at entire process modeling tutorials, because you end up getting an entire workflow. You know, go to people who know what they're talking about, you know, and also go on Polycount and look at what everyone's doing and get your work critiqued. Don't post it, well, you could post it to your mates, but make sure that your mates aren't biased and aren't telling you what you want to hear. It's all about, you want to be able to take all the information away. So say for example, I was working the week on a toaster, and basically I overdid the rust, okay, and basically the rust and the crumbs and all that lot, and I basically said to my mate, well, you know, what would you personally say, like, can you tear it apart and see what's wrong with it? And he basically went on about how if you looked at a toaster, it wouldn't really look like that. So kind of, you know, and he sent me some, like, and I, you know, asking for example images. It's all about getting all the resources, getting that feedback, and being able to go and work on it and improve on your stuff. And that's the main thing, I'd say. You know, it's about just putting your work online, getting some feedback, put it on ArtStation, put it on wherever, or even Sketchfab, because then you can get people to look at it from 365 degrees. And you know, that's what it's all about, is feedback, finding a quick process, shortcuts. And if you want to kind of go into the aspects of a really good way to look at 3D modelling, there's two aspects. There's the technicality side of things, which is modelling something. What's the quickest way to do it? And that'll be learned through tutorials, and that'll be learned through your own processes, but also once you go into industry and once you're learning from your colleagues as well. And then once you've modelled that asset, whether it be in 3D or whatever, and then you take it away and then you go and do the texturing, that's when you become an artist. That's when you realise, okay, so I've got this box, and it needs to look a certain way. It's got rust. How's that rust going to age over time? Okay, I've got a stainless steel toaster. How's that toaster going to look? The main reason I'm using a toaster is because I did one last week. But essentially, how's that toaster aged over time? What's it used for? And how often is it used? Is it cleaned often? And how, you know, have they tried to use a degreasing agent? Basically, it's looking at what that material is, looking at what it's used for, and looking at how it could age over time, and how, you know, is it being abandoned? You know, basically it's looking at your environment, looking at what you're doing, and basically saying, yeah, it's and giving it a sense of story and a sense of purpose. Because if you think about it in practice, every prop has a story behind it. Every prop has a story behind it. So you kind of go into the perspective of, well, you know, it's got, you know, it's a toaster in a cafe. It gets used on a daily basis. You know, some crumb residue gets left behind. Some bread, you know, breadcrumbs are burnt a bit to the side, and that's it. It's basically showing that the asset's being used as it really would in the real world. So but then again, it all depends on what you're doing. I'm a modeler for realistic stuff at this moment in time, so I can't really speak for animated stuff. But anyways, we're out of the time now. I just thought I'd post a quick video just to talk about a bit of motivation for you guys, because I had a big problem with it, and I were a bad artist at uni, and I'll openly admit that. So it's me turning around to you guys, hopefully giving you guys some kind of motivation to go out there and create great art. Because, you know, it took me a lot of time. and I'm not the smartest person in the world. And it's not about being the smartest person in the world. It's about basically looking at a problem, finding how to solve it, and going out there and doing what you need to do because you love what you do. You know, and that, I could say that for anyone who does what they do. You know, this is my area of expertise, is doing 3D game art, and that's because I've learnt stuff. That's why I'm using things like Substance and 3ds Max and Unreal Engine, because those are the things that I'm going to be using on my armor set. You know, it's all about being able to utilise those tools to the best of your knowledge and being able to produce some fantastic artwork, because at the end of the day we're problem solvers and we are artists. So guys, keep doing what you're doing, keep working, and go out there and create some fantastic art. That's all I can personally say, guys. You know, and I hope this video helps. I just felt like it's been on my mind for a while, and I just thought I'd have a little bit of a break today because I've been working on my craft. I've been working on my portfolio all week and working part-time as a waiter, which some of you already know. But yeah, I hope this video helps, and if you want to post some comments in the bottom below, box below, then do so. That's all I can say. Anyways guys, keep working, and you'll all get there in the end. Okay, we'll all get jobs, well, we hope so. The way the economy currently is, I don't know if we will, but you know, it's all about doing what you love. We all do this because we love it, don't we? Okay, so yeah, with that in mind guys, post some comments in the section below, motivate others. You know, we're a community, we're all here to help each other. We should learn from each other, you know. So keep posting stuff, keep doing what you're doing guys, and see you later.